Hello, my name is Lizzie, and this is Lizzie's Literary Life, and today we are beginning Jokes on Me, Lizzie's version, Round 1, Episode 6. Okay, so if you don't know, well, firstly, actually, this is the first video I'm filming. It's not the first video you're seeing with this, but it's the first video I'm filming with my 2024 blanket in the background. This is my 2024 book blanket. You've seen it in other videos probably because this is going to take a long time to make this video. You'll see why in a minute. But I am so obsessed with this. It's so nice. I'm so proud of it, so happy with it. And I'm excited to have a new background for 2025. So, with that out of the way, Jokes on Me is a TBR game created by Bailey from Is Bailey Reading. She is now on season 3, so she has a brand new board for 2025. I am still using the 2023 board, the season 1 board, because I started this round of Jokes on Me back in 2023. In November 2023, I started this round. I did episodes 1 through 3 in a little wrap-up video, and then I did episodes 4 and 5 in 2024, and now we're back with episode 6, and you'll see if I finish the round in this episode or not. I will leave that open for when you're seeing the flips. But this has been a very long project for me, but I do love doing this because I think Bailey created an incredible game. And if you don't know how it works, I would highly recommend watching Bailey's channel, or you can watch the previous Lizzie's version episodes. But definitely check out Bailey's channel. She's awesome. She does great videos. And Jokes on Me is just a fantastic game. The board was made by another friend of mine, Ruby, but from Ruby Red. So I love my friends. I love to shout them out. Go check out both Bailey and Ruby. They'll be linked in the description down below. But we are getting into episode 6, and this is a big one. So let's roll the clip. Okay, Jokes episode 6 flips. I'm using a mini D20 as my game piece, and I have to get back to this sequel space right here. This is episode 6. This has been a long round. I've been working on it for a long time. Let's see what happens. 6, split 3 and 3. We have 1, 2, 3, longest book, and 1, 2, 3, someone's next 5-star. Okay. Queen, I get to buy another book. I feel like I've been getting that in all of my episodes. And a 9. That's just a regular move. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oldest published. Okay, this is an interesting one. That was 3 flips. Okay, so starting off strong with a 6, which gets you 2 prompts because you split it 3 and 3. The first prompt was the longest book on my TBR. And I went for my owned TBR. But here's the thing. You know what I own because it's on my 30 by 30 list? War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Bible thin pages, small text, giant frickin' book. And this is the longest book on my TBR. And therefore, I must read it for this video. And I know that Bailey says you can pick from the top 3, but the next 2 honestly were not much better. I also own Middlemarch by George Eliot, so might as well get to this. I need to get to it before I turn 30, so now's as good of a time as any, I guess. I'm going to get into my plan for this book, but let's go through the rest of the books first, and then I will return to telling you my plan for this chunker of a tome. The other book that I got, or prompt that I got from the 6, was someone's next 5-star. And of course I had to choose Bailey, Bailey's next 5-star. And I filmed the flips a while ago, so Bailey has had a 5 stars since I filmed those flips, and that was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've read a couple Blake Crouches before. I've read Run and I read Recursion. I didn't love either of them. Run I really didn't like, but Recursion I did like. I just didn't love it. But I'm definitely intrigued to read more from Blake Crouch. So Dark Matter it is. Dark Matter will be read at some point in this vlog because it was Bailey's next 5 star as of when I filmed the flips. And it's her last 5 star as of right now. The next flip got me a queen, which is to buy a book. And I do have a plan to buy a book very soon. So I will definitely take you along on that journey. I bought a ton of books last weekend and I could just haul one of those. But I also have a plan to buy a book soon in a cool kind of situation. So I will take you along with that. And then we got a 9, which was oldest published. And I have a lot of classics on my TBR because of my 30 by 30 list. And also I just enjoy classics. This one actually isn't on my 30 by 30 list. And I was really nervous because I was worried I would get, like, after getting War and Peace for longest, was worried I would get, like, Middlemarch and have to read 2 giant books. But this one's actually not as big. The oldest published book on my TBR is Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. This is, I think, the only Jane Austen I haven't read, though a lot of them I read a long time ago and would like to reread to, like, really remember them, because I kind of went on a Jane Austen kick in, like, high school where I listened to the audiobooks of, like, 5 of them all in a row, and they all really blur together. But anyway, I never read this one, so this is really exciting. It was published in, I think, 1814. Let me double check. I think it's 1814. Anyway, around 1814 this was published, and this is the oldest published book on my TBR, so I will be reading this for that prompt. Classics heavy video plus Dark Matter. And then there's a my choice. So Bailey always does she does 3 flips and then she does 1 book of her choice in each video. And I decided to go along with the classics theme and read a classic that I need to get to in the next couple months anyway for a couple other reasons, mostly her kid. And that is Orlando by Virginia Woolf. So I'm really excited to read this. It's like a queer classic. I have read one Virginia Woolf before, and that was Mrs. Dalloway, and I liked it, but I'm really excited to read this. And I will keep you posted on how it goes. So these 3 classics plus Dark Matter are the plan for this video. Let's talk about my plan for this chunker. I want to read this. It's currently January 25th. I'm going to be very transparent with how long it takes me to read this. My plan is to start this on February 1st. And the goal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read for half an hour and see how many pages I get through. And then I'll probably make it a round number, but around that number of pages, whether it's 20 pages, whatever, I will plan to read that many pages per day until this is done. So it's probably this edition is, that's notes. Where do the notes end? Epilogue part 2. Oh my God. Appendix. Okay. This edition is 1,308 pages. So if I read 20 pages a day, this is going to take me months. But that is okay with me. I want to take my time with this. I do genuinely think I will like this. Hot take. So I really want to take my time with it. I don't want to rush through it. So I will keep you posted on my progress of this starting February 1st. And I will read those other 3 books, Orlando, Mansfield Park, and Dark Matter, along the way. And I will just keep you posted, let you know what's going on. But welcome to this video. Okay, so I wanted to set my pace for this book, for War and Peace. It's now February 1st. Happy February. And I wanted to set my pace for War and Peace and decide how many pages per day I'm going to try to read, and then see, based on that, how long it's going to take me. And so what I want to read 20 minutes per day. That's my goal, because I have so much else to read. And I know that I don't want to binge this book. I want to take it slow. So I read for 20 minutes, and that got me 15 pages in. So, hopefully my pace will speed up a little, just because, like, I'll get settled into the writing style, knowing who the characters are, blah, blah, blah. But my goal is going to be to read 15 pages per day. And with that, at 15 pages per day, I will finish on April 29th. And I probably will get behind, meaning I'll probably finish this in May. You'll know, because you'll know when this video goes up. But, yeah, this is not going to be finished for a good long while. But yeah, the goal is 15 pages per day. And I will keep you posted on how that goes. So far, like, in that first 15 pages, we met like 15 characters. Because, there's like 600 characters in this book. Okay. Quick War and Peace update. I am this far in, which feels like a feat. It's like not very much of the book, like percentage wise, but it is 135 pages. And I did finish part 1 of book 1. So it's split into 5 books, I think. 5 books. No, 4 books and then the epilogue. Here's the contents page. And each book has like several parts. So I finished part 1 of book 1. Which was the first 120 pages. And I actually really enjoyed it. I'm definitely having to flip back to the character list to keep people straight in terms of like matching first names and last names and titles. But there is a character list in this edition, which is super helpful. And it just is like kind of fun. Like this part was all in peacetime. We're not like with the army, we're with like the aristocrats and the people in their parties and stuff, and it just is like fun little petty dramas. Part 2 of book 1, which I did just start, we are with the army, and I know I expect that that's what I'm going to struggle with a little more, is the war section. But so far so good. I've been keeping up for the most part with my 15 pages per day. It's now the 10th of February, so I have a little bit more to read today, but yeah, for the most part, actually really enjoying this. Okay, it is high time for an update. It is now March 8th, and I have made some progress in War and Peace. I am here, which is page 485. So I'm on page 485, not halfway through yet, but I've made a lot of progress. I am still feeling really good about this. It is long. It's my only thing. I've been reading it for over a month and I'm not halfway through, but I am enjoying it. I feel like the characters are all so engaging, and it's like, it's kind of funny. Like it's got so much going on too. Like we've got the Freemasons, like the Illuminati was just mentioned, and it's like, okay. I am definitely enjoying like the peace segments of like the aristocratic society more than the war segments of when we're like actually in battle. But I feel like the peace segments, like the society segments, have been the majority, at least thus far. We've only had a couple parts where we're at in battle, and even those, like, it's not dragging too much. Pierre is such an interesting character to me, and I'm so intrigued to see his journey. The other thing that I'm like looking forward to is that I know that there is a musical called Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812. And I know that it's based on a scene or a segment in this book. And I'm still it's 1809 where I am. So we're like, obviously before, we're not there yet. Not at 1812 yet. But also Natasha and Pierre, I don't think they've ever met. Maybe they have, but they like don't really interact. They're very separate parts of the story. So I just am like waiting for that culminating event, and then I can listen to the musical, because I don't really know anything about the musical. I don't know anything about the plot. I don't know anything about the music, but I'm just really excited to get to that part so that then I like
read that part and then can listen to the musical because I hear the music is very, very good. And so that's something that's exciting about this. And yeah, I'm continuing my way through it and I'm enjoying it. And I'm enjoying that my pace, like I am behind my 15 pages per day. I'm supposed to be on up to 540 today and I'm on 485, but I'm still not feeling like the pace is oppressive. Like 15 pages a day is good and I am satisfied as long as I finish it by the end of April. And then I also have been reading Mansfield Park. I am this far in, so getting near halfway. So what is this about? I feel like I didn't say what War and Peace was about either, but it's about maybe I did. It's about the Napoleonic Wars and aristocratic society, and you get the point. This is kind of a classic Austen setup of like, we've got our estate, Mansfield Park, and there's the parents and there's all the children, and they're like fairly well off and like fairly spoiled. And then we also have Fanny Price, who is their cousin, and she is sent to live with them at a fairly young age when she's like 11. And she grows up alongside them, but she's kind of very aware that her station is below theirs. But she gets really close to her cousin Edmund, who is one of these 4 siblings that live at Mansfield Park, like that are part of the Mansfield Park estate. And now, in the present day, not present day, in 18 whatever when this was written, but present day at the time, Fanny is like probably like 17, and some people come to stay with them or stay on like their grounds sort of, and they decide to put on a play while their father is away in Antigua on business, and they decide to put on a play. And I had no idea that that was the plot of this, that it's like got a theater element to it, which is really fun. It's very like, I don't know if it's the play they're putting on is called Lover's Vows, and I don't know if it's a real play or not. I don't know if it was invented for this or if it like is a contemporary production that existed. But I feel like I think it probably is a real play because there's all these references to the content of the play that I'm not picking up. But I would be interested, after I finish this, to go back and read the corresponding chapter in Jane Austen, The Secret Radical, which is a nonfiction book that I read fairly recently, not that recently, like last year, about Jane Austen and the like underlying political messages of her work. Because I feel like there's a lot here that I'm not necessarily picking up on because I don't get all of the contemporary political and literary references. I'm along for the ride, though. I don't love Fanny Price as a character. She's very, like, buttoned up and also, like, kind of meek. She just feels like kind of a nothing character to me. While I feel like Austen has so many strong heroines, she doesn't feel like that to me, but maybe she'll get there. And I think the love story is going to be between her and her cousin Edmund because she's kind of in love with him, and it's not that weird to love your cousin in 1812 or whatever this is. Actually, these are probably close to contemporary, which is interesting because they feel very different. That's actually really interesting because they feel super different, but like stylistically and also just like, I mean, they're obviously different parts of the world, but anyway, that's where I'm at in these two. And I will keep you posted as I continue.
Okay, hello. I am here in a state of devastation because the last clip you saw was filmed in March like 5th, I think, of 2025. It is now December of 2025, December 13th, to be exact. And when I say that it is not because I didn't film between March and December, I am telling the truth. I filmed so much in like, especially August, during All Done August. I filmed a lot for this vlog. If you watched my All Done August vlogs, you'll know I made finishing this episode of Jokes a big priority, and I was updating this vlog all through that. I filmed the moment that I finished War and Peace and the absolute triumph that I felt in that moment. And the reason I am here coming to you in December is because I lost all of that footage. And so, hence the state of devastation, because basically what happened is that I put the clips on my hard drive, or I thought I did, and so I deleted them from Google Photos. Turns out they were not on my hard drive. They were nowhere. Deleted, never to be seen again. And so here we are in this situation where I worked so hard on this video. I worked so hard on reading the books. I worked so hard on making a good vlog. And here we are, having to do a little wrap up in December of books that I finished in like March through October. So we're just going to do our best, our absolute best, because I am putting this video out. So first, the one clip that I did not lose from all of that time was my review of Mansfield Park. So I'm going to roll that clip now. It's from August. Here you go.
Hello. I have finished Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. I am going to give it 3 stars. In the last little bit since I last updated you, it did grip me a little more. Like, I did get a little more intrigue, because it could easily have been a 2 or a 2.5, but the ending was nice, and even though everything worked out the way I thought it would, the ending was nice and well written, and I mean, Jane Austen can write, shocker. I have now read all of Jane Austen's works. Several of them I listened to on audio all in a row when I was a teenager, and they really blur together. Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, and Emma particularly. I know Emma a little better, but Sense and Sensibility and Persuasion, like, I could not tell you the difference between the two. But I now have read all of Jane Austen's works, published works, or published novels. I feel like she might have some like short stories or something, maybe. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've read all of her novels, and this is my least favorite so far, of how I remember them. It really dragged in the middle. The characters did not feel as full of life to me, or like as likable to me. Like, our heroine Fanny Price was just not as interesting or likable to me as like an Elizabeth Bennet, obviously, but like, even what's the heroine of Northanger Abbey called, Catherine, maybe, even her, like, she had such a personality, and this one, Fanny Price, kind of a boring person. So those are my complaints, but, and it took me a long time to read, but not bad, not a bad book, and 3 stars for this one, and that is done. So I will come back, hopefully when I've finished something else.
And then we have my choice book, which was Orlando by Virginia Woolf. Now, I actually finished this in March. I finished it on February 28th. But I think since this video took me so long and I was reading so much at the time, I think I forgot that I said Orlando was going to be my choice, so I didn't review it for this video right away. And then, like, I think later in like August or something, I reviewed a different book as my choice. But I said it was going to be Orlando. I did read Orlando. So I'm going to review Orlando, even though I finished it like 8, 9, 10 months ago. So Orlando by Virginia Woolf is, I think I have it reviewed in a wrap-up maybe. If I do and I can find it, I will link it here. But I read this book It's about a beginning as a young boy named Orlando, and throughout the story, like 300 years passes, and also he becomes a young woman. It's weird. It's like a queer classic. I wish I remembered literally anything to say about it, unfortunately. But I did give it 4 stars. So I liked it. I liked it. I would, if you want my review of that book, I will find the wrap up where I talked about it and link it, because I don't have much to say about it. Moving right along. Then we have Dark Matter, which I didn't talk about at all in this video because I started it and finished it in August in the missing footage. But I gave this 4.5 stars. I finished it on August 12th. It was a really quick read. It's about basically, like, if I recall correctly, I should have done research on what these books are about because clearly I don't remember anything after I read anything. This book, we've got like multiple parallel universes. This man is like pulled out of his universe or like into the multiverse, and he's trying to find his way back. But also, like, he's the guy who created the machine that can travel through the multiverse, but it was a different version of him. It's all very timey-wimey, like, you know, different multiverse stuff. I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting and engaging and fast-paced. There were things that bothered me, but do I remember what they are? No. So we're going to move right along. And we are going to move along before we talk about War and Peace, because I do want there to be some level of triumph in this video, even though I have lost so much footage of me talking about War and Peace. We are going to, before we talk about War and Peace, we're going to do a book haul. So I did draw I think a queen in this video, and that is to buy a book. And in the original footage, I did a book haul of these 6 books because I bought them all like in the same couple days, right around the same time. And I'm just going to haul them again for you because I haven't really talked about these books on this channel yet. I haven't read them yet. So we're going to do a book haul. This book haul occurred in July, right around the time of my wedding. So for my wedding in July, a bunch of my Booktube besties came from all over the country to come to my wedding. So I'm going to shout them all out right now. And if I have their permission, I will insert some pictures of them tearing it up on the dance floor. But in no particular order. Adriana from Carbon Bonded Books was there, tore up the dance floor. Martine from Just Martine. This was my first time meeting Martine, and like, wow, I just love them so much. Danielle from Danielle Reads, bestie, was there. Bailey from Is Bailey Reading, another bestie. Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads, crazy time to be alive. Ruby from Ruby Red. And Rena, who is a book bestie, but not on Booktube. Rena is on Instagram at Rena Beazle. I will link her in the description along with everybody else. But love them all. And when they were there in my city for my wedding, we went on a little book shopping spree. And most of these books I bought on that spree. And then a couple days after my wedding, actually, I met up with Marcella from Marcella and the Margins, another Booktube bestie, and we went book shopping together as well. She wasn't able to come to my wedding, but we did meet up shortly after my wedding and go book shopping. So that's the situation in which all of these books were purchased. And the first one is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I have heard nothing but incredible things about this book, so I'm really excited to read it. But my favorite thing about this used copy is the sushi order in the back of it. Like, isn't that just incredible that I have somebody else's sushi order in this book? I love it. I also, at that same used bookstore, bought this really pristine excellent condition copy of Tin Man by Sarah Winman, which both Martine and Ruby gave very good ratings. I like had picked it out because it was just like pretty and in nice condition, and both Martine and Ruby were like, that one was good. So I bought it. And then this one I actually bought new because I've been I've been looking out for it for a while because I really think I'm going to love it. I don't know why I think I'm going to love it, but I do. It's The Guest by Emma Cline. I have not read anything by Emma Cline. It just gives the lit fic vibes that I generally am after. And I think it was recommended like for fans of another book I really loved. So this. And then whenever my book besties and I get together, the 2 times that we have gotten together, we do a thing called Bookstore Secret Santa, where it's not Christmas related at all, but we get together in a bookstore and we put all of our names in a hat and we draw out, each person draws a name, so each person has another person in the group that they must buy a book for in that store right there. Well, you don't actually buy it for them. You present it to them as, this is my recommendation for you, and it's their choice whether to buy it or not. But everyone walks away with a book from someone else in the group. And this iteration of Bookstore Secret Santa, Ruby from Ruby Red and I both had each other, and I recommended to her The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, and she did buy it, and she is, I think, still in the middle of it. It's a very long book, and she recommended to me actually 3 books. One of them I didn't buy, but 2 of them I did buy, and none of them she had read, so that's fun. They just seemed exciting. So the first one is Enlightenment by Sarah Perry. I also have not read this book yet, so don't really know what it's about, but it seems like sort of witchy, like fate is written in the stars. I don't know. It was longlisted for the Booker, so that's exciting. And the other one, I also don't really know what it's about, is Margaret and the Mystery of the Missing Body, which just like, what a cool cover, what a cool book. It's blurred by Tori Peters, who wrote Detransition Baby, which I really liked. It's a queer coming-of-age novel about a girlhood interrupted. Sounds like a vibe. And finally, the last book. This is actually, so those were all on the trip with the book besties who were at my wedding. And this last one was on the book shopping spree, also a used bookstore with Marcella. I bought Hex by Rebecca Dinerstein Knight. Had not heard of this, but it's got a cool cover, and it's a breathtaking and hypnotic novel about poison, antidotes, and obsessive love. So that's exciting. And I think I looked up a summary of what it was about, and it sounded good, but there's no summary on the back of this. It's just blurbs. So who knows? Who knows what it's about? And that's my little mini book haul. And now it is time to discuss War and Peace. This book took me 8 months to read. You saw me start it. You saw me say I want to finish it by April. I want to finish it by May. Did not happen. I finished this on October 5th of 2025. It is very long. It is very long. I gave it 3.5 stars. I did like it. And if people ask me, or when people ask me, because I have been asked this, is it worth it to read like that whole darn thing? I say yes, it was worth it. Is it too long? Like maybe, but also if it wasn't as long as it is, would it be the masterpiece that it is? I don't know. But this book is so interesting because I talked about this a lot in the missing footage. Sorry to keep mentioning the missing footage, but I am very upset about it. But it's not coming back. There's nothing I can do. I didn't mention this in the beginning clips because we didn't get to this really until like maybe part 2. But we started getting, especially at the beginning of each part, we would get a section or a chapter just like Tolstoy philosophizing about the course of history. And I found those parts actually really interesting. It was like such a great balance between like the drama of the aristocracy and like what's going on and the plot, because this book has plot. The characters go on journeys. There's a lot going on. And then also these sections that were basically Tolstoy's essays on like big picture, the Napoleonic Wars, and like what affects change in history and the course of history. Like it just was so interesting. The epilogue was 2 parts. The first part of the epilogue did make me tear up a little bit. Just like I'd been with those characters for so long, and to see them like where they end up was like really emotional after reading that book for 8 months. Part 2 of the epilogue did drag. While I just said I liked the philosophizing essays parts, part 2 of the epilogue, I just really wanted it to be done. And it was like he was putting a pin on all of those points at great length. And so that I didn't love. So there were definitely parts that were boring, parts that dragged. I will say the best parts of the book were epilogue part 1 and the section that the musical Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812 is based on. Like, I don't know who wrote that musical. I could look it up. You can look it up too if you want to know. That writer did choose the best part of the book. Like, that is the most engaging, exciting, interesting part of the book. And I have yet to watch or listen to the musical, but I still would like to, because that part was like, I was just eating it up, you know? So yes, this book was worth it. Was it the best thing I've ever read? No, but do I think it's a masterpiece? Absolutely. I didn't enjoy every minute of it. I didn't enjoy every month of it. I didn't enjoy that it took me 8 months. But I do think it's a phenomenal book, and I am really glad I read it. And that is one book off my 30 by 30 list done. I still have so many more, but things to come on that in the new year. And that's episode 6, the potentially penultimate episode, ? I'm really close to the finish line, if you remember from the flips. So unless I get another Joker or just really bad rolls in episode 7, episode 7 could be the last one of the episode. And that episode will be coming soon, I promise. And then season 2 of Jokes is going to be happening in 2026. I do have a new board that Ruby made with a color scheme and prompts, especially for me. So that's really exciting. And I will be doing that, season 2 of Jokes, in the new year. So very exciting. Comment down below that you're proud of me for finishing War and Peace. I know I've already asked you to comment that in other videos, but you can be proud of me more than once, because I'm proud of myself. And also comment down below if you've read any of these books or any of the books I hauled, or if you have any thoughts. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one, coming very soon.